Well, today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be talking about something that I hope you're going to find interesting and revealing. I'm going to be talking about Nelson Mandela and the concept of Ubuntu. Now, for many people who have not lived in South Africa, they probably won't understand what the concept of Ubuntu is all about. So that is what I'm going to do in this video. I'm going to explain what it means. And I want to just introduce you to one of my websites, which is this one you're looking at right now. The domain name is aquarianconspiracy.com. The theme of this website is the New Age, or what I call the religion of the New Age, because it is a religion. But there's much more to the New Age religion than meets the eye. And I'm not going to get into all that now. So if you want to have a look at this website and find out more about what the New Age is all about, then I suggest you visit the website and have a look around. In particular, I want to just refer you to a video that I recently created entitled The Occult Agenda Behind the World Peace Movement. You'll find it on the homepage of my website. It's a 2-hour, 20-minute video which explains in great detail the occult agenda behind the quest for world peace. Very revealing and quite disturbing, in fact, in many respects. So I want to encourage you to watch that, get yourself up to speed in terms of what is really happening in the world, and discover why the world peace movement is in fact so dangerous. I know that's going to sound strange to some people, but watch the video and you can decide for yourself whether or not what I'm saying is true. Another video that you can watch on this website is this one here, entitled Heliofant. It's also on the home page, and I suggest that you watch that. It's called I Pet Goat 2. It's created by an organization called Heliofant. So just to clarify, if you go back to the home page of the website and you scroll down till you see Heliofant, click on that and you're going to land up there where you can watch the video. Very enlightening video, in that it kind of summarizes what the New World Order has in store for our planet and the good citizens of the planet. But without further ado, I want to get to the main thing, which is Ubuntu and Nelson Mandela. Now, I'm going to reveal some interesting information on this page. And let me start by saying that I lived in South Africa for many, many years. I was born in South Africa, so I was raised in African culture, and I was still living in South Africa at the time that Nelson Mandela was released from prison on Robben Island and became the leader of South Africa. And at the time, we were told that this was all about the Rainbow Nation. It was all about unifying the peoples of South Africa, all the different people groups. And at that stage of my life, I knew absolutely nothing about what I'm going to reveal to you today. So I'm using this opportunity to uncover and to expose what is most certainly a very sinister hidden agenda here. I want to also just add that there are probably many South Africans who have been taken in by this whole deception of peace in South Africa and the Rainbow Nation. I'm going to try and put this into a context and in a way that you've probably never seen this before, and ask that you just be patient and work through this information with me, and all will become clear. So let's get on to the main thing. What is Ubuntu? Ubuntu is based upon the science of thought. The study and practice of this science used to be taught by the Brotherhood of the Higher Ones, or the Brotherhood of the Higher Ones of ancient Egypt. This science is also reflected in the African cosmology and the story of Maat. Maat represents the ancient Egyptian concept of truth, balance, order, law, morality, and justice. Secret societies and mystery Babylon. Secret societies such as Freemasonry are based on the mystery religions of Babylon and Egypt. What these mystery religions have in common is that they deny the existence of the one true God, Jehovah, the deity of Jesus Christ, and the concept of absolute truth. They base their teachings on what is often described as the collective wisdom of the ages. This wisdom draws from many other religious paths. It is claimed that the collective spirituality represented by ancient mystery religions is superior to Christianity, but the claims and teachings of these mystery religions simply obscures a hidden agenda, the worship of Lucifer, the light bearer, also known as Satan. There are many secret societies, but the two main streams by which men and women are today unwittingly being inducted into the occult is through Freemasonry and the Kabbalah. The Kabbalah is in essence Jewish mysticism, but the Kabbalah also forms the basis of Freemasonry. Spiritual evolution and Lucifer, the light bearer. The type of spirituality in the New Age has to do with the glorification and deification of man. This is based on the old lie introduced to Adam and Eve in Genesis chapter 3. Lucifer seductively suggests to Adam and Eve that God is trying to fool them by hiding the truth of who they really are, gods. Till today, in the world of the occult, it is claimed that Lucifer the light bearer is the one who brings spiritual and intellectual enlightenment to humanity. Through this so-called enlightenment, man can become a god or realize his or her divinity. Allegedly, this manifestation of divinity can be achieved by accessing the secret teachings of one of the mystery religions. In this way, man apparently becomes enlightened, and the process of spiritual enlightenment can be thought of as a form of spiritual evolution. Ascended Masters and the Age of Aquarius. The Brotherhood of the Higher Ones, or the Brotherhood of the Higher Ones of ancient Egypt, referred to in the teachings of Ubuntu, are synonymous with what Theosophists and adherents to the New Age call Ascended Masters. It is claimed that these hidden, benevolent spiritual beings are secretly working to guide humanity into what is called the Age of Aquarius. It is claimed that the Age of Aquarius is a time in the ongoing evolution of humanity when we will all manifest our divinity, individually and collectively. The old age of traditional beliefs and values such as Christianity is now regarded as a thing of the past because it is perceived to be bigoted and narrow-minded. The New Age, on the other hand, is open-minded and inclusive because it affirms all religious and spiritual paths, claiming that ultimately we all worship the same God. Strangely, proponents of New Age spirituality claim to be tolerant of everyone and everything except Christianity. Whenever they refer to Christianity, they become very intolerant and claim that they alone have access to truth. What must be stressed is that the New Age of Aquarius, which is based on astrology, is really a transition from Christianity to spiritualism. Spiritualism refers to contact with the dark side of the spirit world and is forbidden in the Bible. The reason is given in 1 Corinthians 10 verse 20. The sacrifices of pagans are offered to demons and not to God. Put differently, whatever is not offered as a sacrifice to the true God, Jehovah, is inadvertently offered to demons. Modern-day Tower of Babel. The Age of Aquarius describes a period in history where man is once again attempting to rebuild the Tower of Babel. In Genesis 11, we see that the humans on the earth at the time united in defiance of God. They wanted to govern themselves according to their own rules, but God brought their humanistic endeavor to an abrupt end when he confused their languages. Without a common language, they found it impossible to achieve their objective of establishing their utopian one-world government. But today, the governments of the world are again attempting to unify humanity and establish a new world order. This new world order consists of two components, politics and religion. Just as before, man is being worshipped as God. The Bible describes the Antichrist beast system as one that will deceive the nations of the world into worshipping the beast, also known as Lucifer or Satan. This humanistic one-world government, inspired and empowered by Satan, continues to defy God in every way and embraces a false demonic spirituality. It will cause millions to receive the mark of the beast, which empowers individuals to participate in trade, commerce, and employment. In the book of Revelation, we see that mystery Babylon, which really is a composite of the kingdoms of this world and embraces politics and religion, will ultimately be judged by God. This final judgment applies to all who partake of the beast's system and who give their allegiance to it. In so doing, they condemn themselves. I just want to clarify something when I talk about politics and religion as two components of this Luciferian New World Order. The religion I'm speaking about is false religion, which denies the deity of Christ and the existence of one true God, Jehovah. It represents not Christianity. The New Age is a transition from Christianity to a spirituality that is all-embracing and affirms all religious or spiritual paths, claiming that we all worship the same God. Now, according to the Bible, that is absolutely not the case. And this is the root of the ecumenical movement and interfaith initiatives that we see taking place all over the world. I'm going to show you a slideshow about Ubuntu to just let you get some insight into the theming behind this. We'll see a statement here which says, I am because we are. Now, the concept of I am is a terminology that is attributed to Jehovah, God, in the Old Testament of the Bible. God is a spirit being, and the terminology I am indicates a ever-present God in a continuous present tense who has no beginning and no end. But of course, this concept of I am is now being attributed to individuals who are being deified as gods, because behind the teachings of the New Age is the concept of earth worship, pagan earth worship, and the concept that we are all gods, which is obviously the Luciferian lie that we see in Genesis 3. So collectively, I am, i.e. God, because we are, i.e. gods. So let's have a look at the slideshow. So we see the concept here of I am. Here we have the concept of a spiritual universal oneness. Ubuntu, the spirit of humanity, the power of African thinking, unifying leadership in the world, New Age, and it says that humanity is evolving and it embraces Eastern religion and mysticism. Here we have ceremonies. African astrology is involved in this. The occult is basically behind this. And of course, we're talking about a spiritual and political oneness where this new humanity is evolving on the earth. And again, the concept behind this is that only humans have the power to change the future, to take control of the future, and to bring about peace on earth. This has got nothing to do with God. This has everything to do with human beings who are going to take the future into their own hands, and they obviously have no regard for the God of the Bible. So again, think of the Rainbow Nation in South Africa. The Rainbow Nation concept, I want to remind you that the rainbow is associated and has always been associated with the New Age. Okay, so here we get a very clear idea of the collective sort of mindset. This has to do with being politically correct. It has to do with working together and respecting each other. Now, in isolation, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, the Bible talks about love and how we are to treat others as we want them to treat us. But now we have spiritual science. You've just seen it on that slide. We have Egyptian occultism being embraced in Ubuntu concept. This is about a new spirituality that is being formed on the earth. The Dalai Lama says we are moving into a new collective spirituality. Okay, so now I'm going to talk to you about Nelson Mandela and the Knights of Malta. So what is the Knights of Malta? Before I go to the slideshow, let's have a look at this diagram. This is a diagram which lays out the structure of Freemasonry, and I've circled in red on the left the Order of the Knights of Malta. Okay, so we have the York Rite and the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, And here we have on the left side the Order of the Knights of Malta. So what I'm going to pin down straight away is we are talking here about Freemasonry. And I'm going to refer you to one of my other websites at the end of this presentation where you can go and get much more information about Freemasonry, and where I will prove that Freemasonry upholds Lucifer or Satan as God. Freemasonry draws from Egyptology and Egyptian mysticism, basically the occult really, and specifically the Kabbalah, which is Jewish mysticism. So let's go back to Nelson Mandela. And I've said here on my website, Nelson Mandela was a Freemason. If this is of no significance to you, I suggest you discover the real secrets behind Freemasonry. Masonic documents clearly reveal that the god of Freemasonry is Lucifer. Masonic source documents also reveal that Freemasons have a plan to destroy Christianity. Masons practice a form of Babylonian mystery occult religion that has nothing to do with God. Much like New Age practitioners, Freemasons practice spiritualism and spiritual evolution, which is nothing less than progressive spiritual enlightenment, which they claim comes by acquiring secret occult knowledge. Okay, and then I've got links to two of my websites, which we look at, a video that I did on what is a Freemason, and the other one is the secrets of Freemasonry revealed. I'm going to give you these links in a minute when we get to the end of the presentation. Now, let's have a look at these images where we see that Nelson Mandela was indeed a Knight of Malta. In Nelson Mandela on the left in his regalia, there we see him again. There we see the Queen in her Knights of Malta or the Knights of Columbus regalia. It's portrayed as a religious order. Here we'll see, for example, too, Masonry in Africa. So, of course, we have Masonry in Africa. The Knights of Malta appears on stamps. There is Mandela with the Queen of England. The Maltese cross signifies the Knights of Malta. It's used extensively in the order. It was used by the SS, the Third Reich. Here we'll see, for example, inside one of their temples. This is part of their ritual, their crest. There we see the Queen with members of the order. There is the Maltese cross once again. We'll see this in the crest of St. John's ambulance. Okay, so whenever you see that, you know that you're dealing with a Masonic order. And Masonry very often portrays itself as something philanthropic. They do a lot of good works. Believe it or not, this is also attached to Catholicism. The whole concept of knights comes out of the Catholic order, where the knights swear allegiance to the Pope to do the bidding of the Pope. And yeah, we think of the Jesuits, for example. We think of the Crusades. Many people think that Crusades had to do with Christianity. Well, in fact, the Crusades had everything to do with enforcing the will of the Pope and bringing the world into submission to Rome. But more about that in another video. So now we'll go down to something even more interesting. While still focusing on Nelson Mandela, I'm now going to talk about the number 4664. It's claimed that this was Nelson Mandela's prisoner number during his captivity as a political prisoner on Robben Island. But it doesn't take much of an imagination to see what is hidden in plain sight in the imagery used in this campaign. 666, the mark of the beast. And first I'm going to point out, we see here 4664, it's in our hands. Let's look at some more images. This was a campaign rolled out in South Africa. It's in your hands. This one says, make an imprint, a 4664 celebration. Wow. This is interesting because we see imagery which points to the forehead, and we know that the Bible says that the mark of the beast, the mark will be placed either on the forehead or on one of our hands or arms. And here we have a reference not only to hands, as we've seen before, but now to a forehead. Very interesting. 4664. And here we have some celebrities joining Mandela at a conference or some kind of rock show, I think it was, where he was being celebrated. 4664. Hidden in plain sight, Bono of U2. I want to just say, guys, Bono is not a Christian. He's part of the New World Order. He is a Knight of Malta, and they're all part of the same club, deceiving people and leading people into the New World Order. It's in our hands, says Nelson Mandela, and their Queen is also celebrating the Mark of the Beast. The 4664 concert in London. There's a t-shirt honouring the Mark of the Beast. Clothing honouring the Mark of the Beast. What more can we say? It's in our hands. Yeah, the mark will be in our hands. That's for sure. Let's move on to Thabo Mbeki, who succeeded Nelson Mandela as President of South Africa. He was a South African politician who served 9 years as the second post-apartheid President of South Africa from the 14th of June 1999 to 24 September 2008. But of course, what you're going to see here is that Mbeki was also a Knight of Malta and a Freemason. Here we see him in his regalia, exactly the same regalia, being inducted into the Knights of Malta. There he is at the United Nations, all joining forces. There he is with the Zimbabwean president, the current South African president, Zuma, together fighting for change. Now the change, of course, they're fighting for is not the change you and I think it is. This is about the implementation of the New World Order and the transition into that New World Order and the Mark of the Beast. Very obviously it is. Okay, and what I would encourage you to do is at the bottom of this page of my website, you will find a slideshow there, 236 slides, and I'm not going to bore you with this now, but if you want to find out more about the agenda behind Nelson Mandela and the making of a new religion, then I encourage you to go onto the website and work through the slideshow. I'm just going to read this. Nelson Mandela was part of an elaborate global deception called the Aquarian Conspiracy. If you are unfamiliar with this globalist New World Order conspiracy that dates back to the 1950s, I suggest that you download and print this important document before going any further. Once you have studied this document, you will realize that much of what is happening in the world today is by design. Despite the calls for world peace, we are heading towards an age of evil such as the world has never seen throughout all of history. I'm going to encourage you to download this document entitled Stamp Out the Aquarian Conspiracy, print it out, have a good look at it, and get an understanding of what is really going on. You'll find it on this page. At the bottom left there's a link next to the slideshow about Nelson Mandela. I just want to encourage you to visit my other website. The URL is seductionofchristianity.com, where you will find this blog post about the secrets of Freemasonry revealed, where I prove from source documents that Freemasonry is all about the worship of Lucifer and that the Kabbalah is taught in Masonry. I say that in this video you will see citations from Masonic writings that prove that Freemasonry is a religion, that it is not Christian, and that Masons become born again by saving themselves. Masonic candidates are led through what is called initiation. Initiation is in fact synonymous with New Age spiritual evolution. The process of initiation is nothing less than an initiation into the occult, teaching Masonic apprentices how to conjure up demons and engage with spirit beings from the dark side of the spirit world. The god of Masonry is Baphomet, or the goat of Mendes, or Lucifer, the light bearer, or Satan. The Kabbalah is taught in Masonry. It is a form of Jewish mysticism that draws from what the Bible calls the mystery religions or mystery Babylon. According to adherents of Kabbalah, its origin begins with secrets that God allegedly revealed to Adam. When read by later generations of Kabbalists, the Torah's description of the creation in the book of Genesis allegedly reveals mysteries about the Godhead itself, the true nature of Adam and Eve, the Garden of Eden, the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and the tree of life, as well as the interaction of these supernatural entities with the serpent, which leads to disaster when they eat the forbidden fruit, as recorded in Genesis 3. The Kabbalah is in fact a pseudo-religion of pagan witchcraft. The The goal of every Masonic apprentice is to attain the status of a god. Essentially, there is no difference between the false teachings of the New Age and Freemasonry. Both are equally evil and reject Jesus Christ as a unique deity, affirming that man is or can become God with a bit of help from mystery religion and secret occult teachings. Those in Masonry and the New Age have fallen for Satan's oldest trick in the book, the lie that there is not only one God, but that men can also become gods if they have access to secret knowledge of the spirit world. Now, on this page I also list why Freemasonry is absolutely not Christian and why people should steer far clear of it. So I encourage you to go and have a look. The links all appear below this video, so don't worry about that. Just look for the links when you finish this video. I want to just also encourage you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you very much for watching, and God bless.